So welcome to shelteringtree.earth's writers group that meets in the evenings. And our special guest is April Doty, and we'll turn the floor over to her.
Thank you very much. Yes, so that's me there on the screen. You have my face in 3 places now. That's me, April Doty, and I'm very glad to meet you. Thank you for inviting me. I am an audiobook narrator, and I have narrated Evelyn's book, Comes the Warrior, and 33 other books across various genres. Lots of cozy mysteries, a few children's books, young adult, paranormal, romance, nonfiction, a variety. So yes, so that's what I do. A little bit more about me. My background is in acting. I have a BFA from Syracuse University, and I'm actually from Virginia. Went to Syracuse University, studied acting, spent a semester in London, which I love so much that I decided to move there, where I lived for 18 years before moving here to Spain, where I am right now. Here it is currently 1 a.m. and I am on the Costa del Sol in Spain, the southern coast. So we have some beautiful weather right now. And I'm sitting in my studio. This is a wonderful little studio. It's Studio Bricks Pro. It's the best studio you can get, and it blocks out all the leaf blowers and the barking dogs so that they never creep into your books. But it's a really state-of-the-art space. So this is what it looks like, my studio. And it's my little corner of heaven. It's like a TARDIS. I come in here and just time flies, because I just love what I do. So, okay, so I'm here to talk to you about why you should make an audiobook and the different steps in doing so. So, first of all, do you guys listen to audiobooks? Yes. Do you have any favorite narrators?
I've been listening to R.A. Salvatore, and out of the 2 narrators, I like Victor Bavine better, just for that series of books.
Yes. The narrator makes all the difference, don't they?
Oh, yeah. The other guy, I swear he's mispronouncing all the names of the places.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I hate that. So here we see that the audiobook industry is huge and growing. A lot of people who listen to audiobooks only listen to audiobooks because that's a quick way to consume books. You listen to it in the car, you listen to it on the beach where the sun is too shiny for normal books. And when you're hoovering, you're vacuuming the house. So you consume a lot more books listening to audio. And the publisher's revenue has been growing year by year, 25% in 2021. Here's a graph which shows it more clearly. So as you can see, there's 2017 on the right, and it's grown during the pandemic hugely. And then actually, so now this year, it's 25% in 2021. So it's back up to sort of where it was headed pre-pandemic levels. So, and then the future, this shows you, a longer view of the past. So back in 2011, there were only 7,237 audiobooks published. And in this short space of time, we're all the way up to 74,000 audiobooks in 2021. So just enormous growth. And it's set to continue. So this is, according to Words Rated, this is the future of audiobook market growth and the share of audiobooks compared with the rest of the book market. So as you can see, audiobooks continues to grow and the rest of the book market actually starts to shrink 2028 compared with audiobooks. So audiobooks, they think, will take more of the market. So that's a view of the whole market. And then these are the key steps in audiobook production. So I do the production side. That's the part on the very left. But to be aware that the other steps are distribution. So, okay, I should actually talk through production. So, this is my area, production. So I am a narrator, but other producers will also handle lots of narrators if they do production, but I do my own production. That involves book preparation. So when you give me your finished manuscript, I read it. I highlight all the characters' voices in different colors. I underline words I need to emphasize. I put in beats where I need long pauses. And so the book preparation takes quite a bit of time. And then after that, I record. And so for every finished hour of audio, so for every hour of audio in your ears, it takes me about 3.5 hours of recording time to complete that audio, sometimes more if it's complicated and if there are a lot of character dialogue and a lot of accents. So, books are not all equal. Nonfiction books tend to not take very long, unless they have quite a lot of words, pronunciations to look up. But fiction books with a lot of dialogue take a lot longer. So that's why you'll see narrators quoting you a range of rates depending on how complex your book is. And then after I record, then I listen back to the book and I make sure it completely matches your manuscript word for word. And then if there are any extraneous sounds or any words that need fixing or any character voices that aren't quite right or anything I want to fix, then I'll be redoing sections. So that's, that's another hour. And then I make those corrections. And then after that, I master the audio. So this is putting in things like EQ and compression and what makes the audio meet all the specifications that are required on the different platforms where you publish. So for instance, if you're really curious and you look on the ACX platform, which is where you would go to publish a book on audio, if you were on Audible, if you were starting from the beginning, you can use the ACX platform and they will tell you that your volume has to be between -18 dB and -23 dB with a peak of -3 dB. So that's what mastering is. It's making sure that it fits within those confines. And then finally submitting to the platform and submitting to the distribution platform. So that is my bit. Before I go on, does anybody have any questions about that? So all in all, 1 hour of audio could take 5 hours or even more to produce. So that gives you an idea of what's involved. Does anyone have any questions on production? Okay. So then distribution, the distributor makes your audio files available to retailers. And there are more than 50 retailers where your book may be available, depending on who you choose as your distributor. And your distributor handles the reporting and the payments to you. And different distributors will giving you different details, different levels of detail reports. So that they're not all equal in that way either. And then retail, that's where your book is available for listeners through an app usually. So, and I can show you who's who in this breakdown of roles. And then finally, marketing is a whole nother thing, which I won't cover here. And so that's just to point out that none of these other people involved in your audiobooks do your marketing for you. That's a whole separate step and something else to consider and work on through the rest of your life for your book. So, okay, next slide. Who's who in audiobooks? So I've just told you what the different steps are. I sit there in the production side of things, but you can also find other narrators. The best place to find them is on ACX, which is the creators platform for Audible, or on Findaway Marketplace, or on a place called Spoken Realms, which is a smaller platform. Findaway Marketplace is the one I would recommend. It's got a wide selection of narrators. It's really easy to navigate and find, if you're looking for people with certain accents, and it's a platform that's taken lots of big leaps forward recently. So, and ACX is just, that's basically Audible's platform. So ACX will not distribute very widely for you. They will distribute to Audible and to iTunes and to Amazon and no one else. Findaway and Spoken Realms will both distribute very widely to many platforms, including Audible and iTunes. Okay. Why would you go through ACX, you might be wondering, but we'll get to that. There are reasons why you would go through ACX. And then another person you can choose for production, you can ask a company to help you with the whole process. And I've named two there, Curated Audio and Lantern Audio. So you would take your book to them and they would say, great, tell me what you have in mind for, the narrator, a woman, a man, what's important to you, accents, and they'd talk to you. And then they go out and they get auditions for you. And they bring you the auditions and say, here's some narrators. Who do you like? And then they would just handle the whole process for you. So that's an effortless way, but of course more expensive. So that's production. And then distribution. These are the major platforms for distribution: Findaway Voices, Spoken Realms, Lantern, Authors Republic, which is actually the largest, widest distributor, Authors Republic, Big Happy Family, Kobo Writing Life, and Published Drive. And Published Drive actually charges you a fee for doing the distribution. Everyone else just takes royalties from every book you sell. Okay, next, retailers. So I got this list from the Authors Republic website. So check out all these retailers. So you will certainly recognize a few on this page. And where do you guys listen to audiobooks? What app do you use?
Audible or Kobo on occasion.
And do you have a preference? Libby. Okay. And here's more. And here's more. So there's a lot.
It's amazing.
Production. So when you're considering production, what do you think about? Obviously, the most important thing is this the right narrator voice for your book? And can they do the accents that you need? And are they reliable? Do they have a good reputation? You might also think about whether that narrator already exists in your genre. Some narrators, like I have friends who just narrate books in the LGBT romance. So they have a huge following in that particular niche. And so everyone will listen to anything that they do. And there are other narrators that sit firmly in one genre. So that's something to think about. Otherwise, most narrators do a wide range of genres. And the end product, will the narrator do that mastering for you as well? Most will, but they might also price that separately. So will you get the audio that meets the specs required? What are the costs? So there's two different ways of paying for narrators. You can pay per finished hour of audio. That's paying up front, PFH, per finished hour. Or on Audible specifically, you can pay royalties instead. So you could even pay nothing up front and just pay royalties. Not many narrators with experience will do only royalties, but sometimes they will do, oh, well, you could pay me a little bit up front plus royalties. And that's called royalty share plus. So those are the ways that you can pay. The ownership, are you signing up to an exclusive contract? This is in particular about Audible. So if you go on ACX and engage a narrator there, as I say, you can pay them PFH or you can pay them royalties. However, if you choose royalties, then you are locked into a contract for 7 years. And you won't be able to sell your book. I'm going to pause there because I'm not going to finish that sentence because I might be wrong about that. But anyway, you're definitely tied in for 7 years. You're definitely
correct. You're
Yeah.
correct. They will not allow you to sell it anywhere. You can't. So I have several books that are locked into Audibles.
If you are tied into a royalty, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Right.
if you are paying up front, then you can you can go from an exclusive contract to a non-exclusive contract as long as you're not tied into a narrator and paying them royalties.
Okay.
So that's so the most flexible thing is to pay your narrator up front. And then our ownership, yeah, I said that. Okay. And then timescales, can they deliver in time for you? Some narrators have pipelines that are 6 months long, and they can't get started for quite some time. So yes, that's something to consider. Next slide, distribution. Does a distribution, so this is distributors. This is, well, ACX is a distributor. Find a Way, Authors Republic, those are the big ones, and Spoken Realms. And I've listed them before. So does a distributor handle the production process too? And do you want that? What are the total costs to you? What percentage of the royalties does the distributor keep? How many retail outlets will have my book available? Can I control the price? On Audible, you don't control the price. Does the distributor assist me with marketing by providing voucher codes or sharing my book in a wide network of readers? So on Audible, if you are in an exclusive contract, not only do you receive more royalties from Audible, but you also get voucher codes. Like I think you get 50, you get 25 for America, 25 for the UK. And those are basically great for your marketing because you get free books to give out to your loyal readers who can give you good reviews. And that starts you off very positively on the platform. So any questions about any of that? No. Audible. So this is according to Words Rated. This is really interesting. So Audible right now controls 63% of the US audiobook market. And the third bullet point is really interesting. So although Audible only has 13.5% of the total number of audiobooks published in a year, they still control 63.4% of the market, generating twice as many per sold audiobooks compared to the rest of the industry. So like it or not, and I sure don't like it, Audible is the most powerful player. Okay, so this is a really busy slide, and that's why I'm glad I'm giving you this presentation to take away. But if you see on the Audible contract, you have exclusive and non-exclusive. If you have an exclusive contract, you get 40%. If you paid your narrator up front, you get 40% of all the profits, whereas in a non-exclusive, you only get 25%. In an exclusive contract, you get those voucher codes, but you don't on a non-exclusive contract. So anyway, in green is my recommendation. Pay your narrator per finished hour. Launch your book on Audible's exclusive contract so you can get your 40% for 90 days. You can use up your voucher codes and then change to a non-exclusive contract after 90 days. And at that point, you can then send your book to all your other retailers through Find a Way or through Authors Republic or through Spoken Realms. So that's the hack. Okay. And then this is just a little bit of food for thought about, because you're in charge of your book cover is your most important marketing asset. And on Audible, when people are looking for how they're going to spend their credit, they're just looking at book covers. So this book is The Velveteen Rabbit. They're all the same book. Which cover are you drawn to?
So cute. I used to read that every Christmas to my classes, my third graders, and I would sob all the way through it. So
Yeah.
the third from the top looks like one of the originals, but so does the fourth from the left on top row. So they're all adorable.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a favorite?
Third from the top as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the one in the center of the top.
Yes, this one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's got nice white space around it. It's yeah. And then the one you're definitely not going to pick. Well, there's a few you probably definitely won't pick. So, By the way, I've read The Velveteen Rabbit, and this is my cover, the modern one down in the bottom, third one. And I designed that for children, and I actually narrated it really with a voice that appeals to children. So that's the cover that I chose. I figured it stands out as modern because there were many traditional ones, as you can see, and I knew I couldn't compete with that, so I went the other way. So anyway, that's it. That's my top tips. This this is an interesting looking at distributors. I was interested that Authors Republic is the widest distributor. See, I've learned a lot in doing this presentation I did not know. So Authors Republic is the widest distributor with those 50 plus retailers that I shared on these slides. And if you look here, the source for this slide is Scribe Media, and I've got a hyperlink there. You can look. So if you go through Scribe Media, you upload your audiobook, distribution only, will cost you $1,500 for them to distribute it. And then you will get the biggest cut of royalties, 85% through Authors Republic via Scribe. So I thought that was interesting, worth knowing. But all of this stuff's changing all the time. So I'm going to give you this presentation, but always do your own research.
Yes. Thank you very much. This was a lot of information. Now, I'd like to open the floor for questions. Now, we have a children's author and we have a translator who I have a feeling, Melanie, I have a feeling you're going to become one of my authors.
And I don't have that talent.
Oh, I don't know. But how did you get into voice acting? You said that you went to school for it, but what was it that captured you and made you want to do this?
Ever since I was little, I've been acting. My family was in theater, and I've always wanted to be an actress. But actually, somebody I went to university with is a very well-known audiobook narrator, Vikas Adam. He narrated Life of Pi, among many other books. But I saw how successful he was, and I thought, wow, this is great. You can live anywhere and be a voice actor. And so that was actually one of the big drivers, is the flexibility. But I've always been a very big reader, and I just love, it's everything I love. I'm an actor and I'm a geek, and that's rare. You don't usually get, geeks don't like to act and actors don't like computers. So the fact that I love both makes me really a very small Venn diagram for audiobook narrators.
Very good. Okay. I found you through Find a Way, and I'm delighted I did. And when things settle down, I'm going to hire you again for some more books. But which is better for an author, to find the business itself, or to find the narrator first and let you move them into the platforms?
Well, since you found me, things have changed.
Okay.
So Find a Way now operates differently, and they're owned by Spotify.
Right.
And Find a Way now is an open marketplace where you, as an author, can browse the market and ask any narrators that you like to audition, and then you contract directly with a narrator. So they don't take a cut anymore. You're contracting directly with a narrator. And so they are only a distributor with this handy platform to help you connect with narrators.
Okay, so is that the best way for an author that has never gone through this process? Which would you suggest? Find a business that does it, or find a narrator first?
I think you should find a narrator. So you have more control over the voice you want, and you can ask for as many auditions as you like.
Okay.
There's you can go to both ACX and Findaway. On ACX, you can put your book up for open auditions, which means anybody can audition. But on Findaway, you have to choose which voices you want to audition. But a little tip, just please set a deadline, because as a narrator, it's really frustrating to prepare for a book and then just when you're about to submit the audition, the book's disappeared. And so please put a deadline on, and also choose a reasonable amount of text for the narrator to read, no more than 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, with character voices included that are important to you.
Okay. Describe your perfect author, somebody that you're going to narrate his or her book. What do you look for in an author?
I've had such good luck with authors. I've had what I value is we value one another's talents. You value my talent, I value your talent, and you give me space to explore and try characters the way I want. In the process of producing an audiobook, generally on Findaway and on ACX, the process is that you record the first 15 minutes of your book, and I record the first 15 minutes of your book, and I give it to you to approve. And in that 15 minutes, you determine whether I've got the gist of where the pace, the tone, the characters. And after that 15 minutes, I do the rest of your book without any contribution from you. So basically, we have to agree on the first 15 minutes about the direction of where things are going, because the whole rest of the book will follow. So that's an important thing. And then on it, no matter what the platform is, the corrections that are made on the whole rest of the book are mainly just about, you got this word wrong, or if there's something glaringly wrong, it's about corrections, not about directions. So that's the main thing. You won't be a director. You choose a narrator that you trust.
Wonderful. Very good.
And I would say one other thing that's disturbing every narrator I know is the encroaching AI. Don't know whether you've seen all these apps that urge you to create your audiobook in 2 seconds through Speechify or through Revoicer. And in fact, Google and Apple both have AI voices. And you might think that they sound like a human for a couple minutes, but you just will not end up with the right product. And then the listeners will disengage with audiobooks totally, because AI just doesn't, it's not the same. So be very careful. And read contracts carefully to make sure that your narrator's voice is not being used to train AI.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you say that again?
So when you distribute your book, read the contracts carefully and look for keywords like synthetic voices, training AI, and just make sure that never appears. And that if it does, that you strike it out, because and as a writer, same problem. Your text is training AI too, and look for that in the contracts.
Very good. That's very good. I almost bought a book today that was something I needed for my research, and then it said the author's name was so and so, and that an AI. And so I didn't buy it. I'm not going to. I'm going to buy real people's stuff. So I think that's very important.
Yeah.
With the translators, I had to be very staunch with some of them. I'm not taking AI translators. I need a real face and a real name and a real person to put on the front of the books. So yay, Melanie.
Oh yeah, they're doing the same thing with illustration too. So Serenity's going to have competition from AIs.
For sure. That Mid-Journey and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
It is. Yeah.
But if you are ever tempted to make a book cover from AI graphics, the ruling is that you can't own the copyright on AI graphics. So you won't be producing anything that you own through AI.
That's interesting. Through shelteringtree.earth, we just used your book covers, the book covers cover. And I tweak it and I add the narrator's name and things like that. So it matches the book.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Great.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm delighted that you took the time to join us from Spain. I told everybody you were in France, and I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But thank you so much, and I'd love for you to join us again. How may my writers, my authors, my illustrators, my translators get in touch with you?
So I have my in the slide that has my name on it, there's a hyperlink to my website, but it's aprildoty.com is my website. DOTY, aprildoty.com. There you go. If you go to this slide and click on this link, you will be headed to my website, and there's buttons all over my website to contact me. So yes, please do have a look.
Okay.
I've
Thank you.
got a couple questions.
Good.
So how popular or how often is it requested for the children's books? How well do they do as audio? With mine, I didn't really feel the need to do audio because I want the child to learn how to read, and that kind of takes away that learning ability for that young age group.
Yes. I don't really know about sales figures, so I can't answer that question.
How often are you asked to do children's or poetry books for that matter?
I've never auditioned for poetry. I've done 3 children's books, but I don't have eyes on the sales. I don't think children's books do sell that well. But that's anecdotal from just research that I've done on, in putting together this presentation. But I can't quote numbers. But I guess children like to listen to things over and over again. So
yeah,
and I don't want to cut the mother or the father out of the reading experience for children.
no, they do that on their own half the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your questions and for listening. And feel free to contact me if you have any other questions. I'll send this presentation to you, Evelyn.
Thank you so much. And you have a good night's sleep.
Thank you.
And
good night,
thank
everyone.
you again.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good night.
Thank you, Miss April.